everyone, it's Sunday, so I hope you have a wonderful week this week, and we're gonna learn about God's words again. This week we have learned about this month we have learned about Joseph and his families, his courageous brothers. So let us do a recap because this is the end of the chapter of Joseph already. We're just gonna go through a recap of what we have learned, and hopefully we'll remember each and every of the names. So should we start with Abraham and Sarah? So what do we know about them? So we know that Abraham and Sarah was at old age when they wanted to have kids, and they almost forgot about God's promise. But then, ta-da! At the age of 100 years old, Abraham and Sarah finally have a son. And what's the name of the son? Can you remember? Yes, is Isaac. So Isaac then married Rebecca. So, and then they have who they have. Do they have a son or a daughter? Well, they have a twin brothers. So remember the name of the twin brothers. Do you remember? Yes, it's Esau and Jacob. So who's the eldest brother? Who's the younger one? Esau is the eldest and Jacob is the younger one. So what's the characteristics that you can remember about Esau? Esau is having a hairy skin and Jacob has the smooth skin, right? So, and then one day Jacob decided to come up with a deceitful plans to deceive his blind father who is sick, and to take the blessing away from Esau and take off. So we learn that God is always in control, because even though that Jacob is really bad person back then, he changed him to become a good one. And while staying with his uncle Laban, God blessed him, Jacob, to marry two beautiful women. They are the daughters of Laban, Leah and Rachel. So until one day Jacob decided that he misses home, and he went back to his brother Esau. So, and again, God is in control. God softened his heart and forgive his brother Jacob. And then Esau and Jacob later stayed together, and later in life we focus about Jacob. So how many sons does Jacob has? 12 or 13? Well, he has a total of 13. That is why some people call him Israel, because he has a total of 13 sons from a few wives. And apparently one of his favorite sons is, who is that name? Joseph. Joseph is one of the youngest. Last week I make a mistake. He's not the eldest, he's the youngest. And then remember I was sharing the story that Jacob's loved his son Joseph so much that he gave a coat that is colorful for him. And then to make things even worse, that he tells his brothers that everyone bows down to him. And the brothers got jealous, and he was sold to Egypt. But God still with him. God never left him. God looked after him. Even though he was sold in Egypt, he worked for a family. But unfortunately, he was then later ended up in prison for something he did not do. While in prison, he became the leader of the prisoners. But then one day things got better, because Pharaoh had a dream. That is a dream that no one can interpret, and it's only Joseph who can do it. So he was then called to the kingdom, and then remember the dream that he has, the Pharaoh. So Pharaoh says that he had a dream that he dreamt of 7 fat cows and then eating grass in the field. So the fat, healthy cows. And then later on, in the same dream, that he has 7 ugly, skinny cows. It rose up from Nile River and swallow all the 7 fat cows. So actually, this was a dream that God has given the Pharaoh, and then let Joseph help to interpret that he just has to prepare himself because there's a famine coming on the way.